Ronaldo, Messi and Zlatan are warming up before an All-Stars football game. Ronaldo gets the ball and passes on to Zlatan. Zlatan then passes the ball to Messi, and then Messi passes the ball back to Zlatan, and many such passes are exchanged. Now it was pretty easy for me to explain this to you diagrammatically. But what if I wanted to explain this to a computer? The computer will not understand diagrams. So we make a small table on the right with 3 rows and 3 columns. We can have Ronaldo, Messi and Zlatan as rows. And to know who the ball was passed to, we have Ronaldo, Messi and Zlatan as columns. We all know what Zlatan is capable of, but let's assume the players can't pass the ball to themselves. So these 3 elements will be 0. There is one arrow going from R towards M, so we write a 1 here, and there's just one pass from Ronaldo to Zlatan. Similarly, we fill the rest of the slots. What we see here is nothing but a matrix. It is nothing but an array of elements, something which a computer can decode. And it summarizes the entire warm-up session. Adding up all the numbers here will give us the total number of passes, and it also tells us the direction of the passes. Don't you wish matrices were taught like this in school? One, 3, -5 and 8. This is just a row of 4 numbers, and this can be represented in different ways. We can write it as an array of numbers horizontally like this, or we can write it as an array of numbers vertically like this. The first part, as you can see, has 1 row and 4 columns, and the second part has 4 rows and 1 column. There's another way in which we can write the 4 numbers. The first 2 numbers in the first row and the last 2 numbers in the second row. All these 3 things you see here are called matrices. Each of these is a matrix, just an arrangement of rows and columns. But how do we properly define it? We can say that a matrix is a rectangular arrangement. But a rectangular arrangement of what? It can be anything. Numbers, letters, other characters, anything. A matrix is made up of rows and columns. The first matrix has 1 row and 4 columns. The second one has 4 rows and 1 column. And what about the third one? It has 2 rows and 2 columns. So a matrix is just a rectangular arrangement of rows and columns. But there is one important condition we need to keep in mind. Each row needs to have equal number of elements. For instance, in the second matrix, each row has 1 element, and in the third matrix, each row has 2 elements. And each column also needs to have equal number of elements. In the first matrix, each column has 1 element. The second matrix has just 1 column, so it doesn't matter. And in the third one, each column has 2 elements. So a matrix is a rectangular arrangement of rows and columns in which each row has equal number of elements and each column as well has equal number of elements. So is this a matrix? Elements A and B in the first row and elements C and D in the second. It is a rectangular arrangement. Each row has 2 elements and each column has 2 elements. It is a matrix. And these 3 are also matrices. Okay, what about this one with 3 elements? Is it a matrix? The first row has 2 elements, but the second one just has 1 element. So it is not a matrix. What about this one with 5 elements? The number of elements in each of the columns is not the same. It's 2, 1 and 2, and this as well is not a matrix. So this is the definition. A rectangular arrangement of rows and columns in which each row should have equal number of elements and each column as well should have equal number of elements. Let's create a matrix which has 3 rows and 2 columns. Yes, 3 rows and 2 columns. Matrices are named using capital letters. We can call this one matrix A. Now there are a few super basic things we need to know about every matrix. Just 3 things. First, what are the elements in the matrix? Second, what is the order of the matrix? And third, what is the position of an element in the matrix? Just 3 things: elements, order, and position of every element. Let's zoom out and understand each of them in detail. Elements are nothing but the components of the matrix. This matrix A has 6 elements: 3, 1, -2, 4, -1, and 6. That's all. 6 elements in this matrix. And the elements of a matrix don't have to be numbers. They could also be letters or random characters. So the elements arranged in rows and columns make up a matrix. What is the order of a matrix then? This matrix A, as we can clearly see, has 3 rows, and it has 2 columns. 3 rows and 2 columns. The order of this matrix is 3 by 2. Yes, this is the order of this matrix. Don't forget the number of rows first and then the number of columns. Next, we come to the position of an element. Every element in a matrix has a unique position. But how do we define the position of an element? It's easy. We look at the row in which it is placed and then the column. Yes, row, column. So in this matrix A, what will be the 1/1th element? What does 1, 1 mean in this context? First row and first column. This is the first row and this is the first column. 3 is the 1/1th element. So what is the 1/2th element in this matrix? First row and the second column. It will be 1. This goes on and the last element would be the 3/2th element. Third row and the second column. It will be 6. The row number comes first and then the column number. And the same applies to the order of the matrix. Number of rows by the number of columns. Writing the order as 2 by 3 will be incorrect. The number of rows will always come before the number of columns. So let's try understanding these concepts with an example. The matrix given to us is 1, 5, -2. We have been asked to find its order, the 1/3th element, and the 2/1th element. Pause the video and try to answer these 3 simple questions. Okay, let's zoom out and try answering the first question. Look at the matrix. It has 1 row and 3 columns, 1 row and 3 columns. The order of the matrix will be 1 by 3. Now for the second question. They have asked us for the 1/3th element. This position implies that the element is in the first row and the third column. Now look at the matrix. First row and the third column. It's -2. -2 is the 1/3th element of this matrix. And what about the 2/1th element? Second row and the first column? But this matrix has just 1 row. So the 2/1th element does not exist. Let's quickly review what we learned. What is the order of a matrix? If it has m rows and n columns, the order will be m by n and not the other way around. And how is the position of an element of a matrix defined? The row number first and then the column number. How do we understand equality of matrices? When can we say that 2 matrices are equal? For 2 matrices to be equal, there are just 2 conditions which need to be satisfied. First, both should be of the same order, and the corresponding elements must be equal. We know what the order of a matrix is. It's the number of rows by the number of columns. And by corresponding elements, we mean the elements in matching positions. 1/1th element of matrix 1 must be equal to the 1/1th element of matrix 2. 1/2th element of matrix 1 must be equal to the 1/2th element of matrix 2, and so on and so forth. The word "and" is important here. Both conditions must be satisfied for them to be equal. They should have the same order and their corresponding elements must be equal. Let's zoom out and look at the two matrices. Are these two matrices equal or not? To know if they are equal, we need to verify two things. First, if their order is the same, and second, if their corresponding elements are equal. Let's find the order of each first. The first matrix has 2 rows and 2 columns. Its order will be 2 by 2. The second matrix has 2 rows and 2 columns. Its order will also be 2 by 2. The first condition is satisfied. The orders of both the matrices are the same. What about the corresponding elements? We start with the 1/1th element. The 1/1th element in the first matrix is 1, and the corresponding element in the second matrix is also 1. The 1/1th elements of each of the matrices match. Now we can move on to the 1/2th elements of each of the matrices. 1/2th implies first row and the second column. That element of the first matrix is 3, and in the second matrix, it's -3. They are not equal. Remember, the condition says that all corresponding elements must be equal. So the second condition is not satisfied. These two matrices are not equal. Now I want you to tell me if the next two matrices are equal. Are matrices A and B equal? To find out if they are equal, we compare their orders and their corresponding elements. Matrix A has 2 rows and 3 columns, so its order will be 2 by 3. And similarly, the order of matrix B will also be 2 by 3. So the first condition is satisfied. The orders of both the matrices are the same. Now we compare the elements position-wise. The 1/1th element of each matrix, they are both 1. They are equal. The 1/2th element, they are both equal to 7. They are equal as well. Then we compare all such corresponding elements and see that they are all equal. The second condition is also satisfied. Matrices A and B are equal to each other. What are the different types of matrices we should know about? The first type we will look at is called the row matrix. As the name suggests, it is a matrix with just one row. Yes, just one row. This is an example of a row matrix. It has just one row. The number of columns doesn't matter. If it has just one row, it's a row matrix. This is another example of a row matrix. 1 row and 3 columns. So a matrix with 1 row is a row matrix. With the same logic in mind, I want you to tell me what a column matrix is. You are correct. It's a matrix which has just one column. This one is an example of a column matrix. 1 column and 2 rows. And this is another example. 1 column and 3 rows. So a row matrix is a matrix which has just one row, and a column matrix is a matrix which has just one column. Now I will write down a few matrices, and I want you to guess what type of matrices they are. This is the first matrix. 1 row, 2 columns, and both elements are 0. This is the second one. 3 rows and 1 column, all elements are 0. And this is the third one. 2 rows and 2 columns, and all elements are 0. What do you think these matrices are called? Yes, they are called zero matrices. Each matrix here is called a zero matrix. A zero matrix is a matrix in which all its elements are 0. Yes, each and every element must be 0. A row matrix is a matrix which has just one row. A column matrix is a matrix which has just one column. And a zero matrix is a matrix in which all its elements are 0. There are a few more types of matrices. We will see those next. These were the three types of matrices we had seen previously. A row matrix is a matrix which has just one row. A column matrix is a matrix which has just one column. And a zero matrix is a matrix in which all its elements are zero. Now let's zoom out to see two matrices. The first matrix has 2 rows and 3 columns. And the second one has 4 rows and 2 columns. Let me ask you an interesting question. What geometrical shape do these two matrices look like? If I have to cover each of them using a two-dimensional shape, which shape would it be? Yes, it would be a rectangle. And that's why these types of matrices are called rectangular matrices. The number of rows in a rectangular matrix is never equal to the number of columns in that matrix. In the first matrix, it's 2 and 3, and in the second, it's 4 and 2. Now I will give you 2 more matrices and you will tell me the type. There you go. To answer, just ask yourself one simple question. Which two-dimensional shape will cover these two matrices? Yes, it will be a square. These are called square matrices. The first matrix has 2 rows and 2 columns, and the second one has 3 rows and 3 columns. In a square matrix, the number of rows will always equal the number of columns. If not equal, then rectangular. If equal, then square. And now we come to the last type of matrix in this session. It's called an identity matrix. It is nothing but a special case of square matrix. How is it special? Let's see. This is an identity matrix. And this is also an identity matrix. What do you notice looking at them? We see that the elements along this diagonal are 1 and the rest of the elements are 0. Yes, that's the definition of an identity matrix. The elements in the leading diagonal are 1 and the other elements are 0. By leading diagonal, I mean the diagonal that starts with the first element of the matrix and not this diagonal. So these are the 6 main types of matrices we need to know before we begin with operations on matrices. Addition of two numbers is easy. 2 plus 4 is 6, 3 plus 9 is 12, and so on. But how are two matrices added? Before we move on to how they are added, we need to know one simple rule. Two matrices can be added only if they are of the same order. Yes, both matrices have to be of the same order for their addition to be possible. Now let me give you two matrices and you have to tell me if they can be added or not. The first matrix is 1 minus 2 in a row and the second one is 4 minus 7 in a column. Can these two matrices be added? Refer to this rule and answer this question. To know if they can be added, we need to look at their orders. The first matrix has 1 row and 2 columns. Its order will be 1 by 2. And the second matrix has 2 rows and 1 column. Its order will be 2 by 1. Are the orders same? No, they are not. This tells us that these two matrices cannot be added. Orders different cannot be added. Here's another example. Can these two matrices be added? Find the order of each and see if addition is possible. The first matrix has 2 rows and 2 columns. Its order will be 2 by 2. And the second matrix as well has 2 rows and 2 columns. Its order will also be 2 by 2. As the orders of both the matrices are the same, they can be added. This should always be our first step. Before we move on to addition, we should check if they can be added or not. Once we know that they can be added, we can perform the addition. So how do we add two matrices? We simply add the corresponding elements. What do we mean by corresponding elements? The corresponding elements are the elements which have the same positions. In these two matrices, 1 and 3 are corresponding elements. Both are the 1/1th elements. 4 and 2 are corresponding as both are 1/2th elements. 2 and -1 are corresponding and -6 and 4 are corresponding. Let's see how the addition of corresponding elements is done. We will have 1 plus 3 here. This is the 1/1th element of the final matrix we will get. What will be the 1/2th element? To get the element here, we add the 1/2th elements of the individual matrices. That will be 4 plus 2. In this position, we will add these two elements, 2 plus -1. And in this position, we will add these two elements, the 2/2th elements, -6 plus 4. We have just added the corresponding elements here. And what will this be equal to? 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. 2 plus -1 is 1. And -6 plus 4 is -2. That completes the final matrix. This is the answer. To add these two matrices, we added the corresponding elements of the matrices. Also make sure you observe the order of the final matrix we got. 2 by 2. It will always be the same as the orders of the individual matrices. To summarize, first check if the matrices can be added using this rule. If yes, then add the corresponding elements of the individual matrices to get the final matrix. Understanding subtraction of matrices is very easy because it's pretty similar to addition of matrices. The rule to check if subtraction is possible is exactly the same as the rule for addition of matrices. Two matrices can be subtracted only if they are of the same order. Yes, they have to be of the same order. If not, then subtraction is not possible. We'll understand this better with a couple of examples. The first matrix we have is 1, 4 in one row, and the second matrix we have is 2, 3 in one row. Is this subtraction possible? I am not asking you to subtract the two matrices. I am just asking you if it's possible to subtract this matrix from this one. To know if they can be subtracted, we need to know the order of each. Pause the video and find the orders. The first matrix has 1 row and 2 columns. Its order will be 1 by 2. And as the second matrix also has just 1 row and 2 columns, its order will also be 1 by 2. Because their order is the same, subtraction is possible here. The second matrix can be subtracted from the first one. But how do we subtract now? If we assume this to be A minus B, we need to subtract elements of B from the corresponding elements of A. 1 and 2 are corresponding elements. 4 and 3 are corresponding elements. What will be the elements of the resulting matrix then? The 1/1th element will be 1 minus 2. Element of A minus the corresponding element of B. And the 1/2th element will be 4 minus 3. Now we just find these two elements to get the resulting matrix. 1 minus 2 is -1, so we write -1 as the 1/1th element. 4 minus 3 is 1, which becomes the 1/2th element. This is our answer, -1, 1. Notice that the order of the resulting matrix is also 1 by 2. The order of the resulting matrix will always be the same as the order of the two matrices in question. Let's look at one more question now. Subtract this matrix from this one. Try it out. To know if this matrix can be subtracted from this one, we first need to find the orders of each. The first matrix has 2 rows and 2 columns. Its order will be 2 by 2. And the second matrix has 2 rows and 1 column. Order will be 2 by 1. The orders are not the same, which means they cannot be subtracted. So remember, Before performing the operation, check if they are compatible for subtraction. And only if they have the same orders, we move on to subtracting the elements of one matrix from the corresponding elements of the other. Can a matrix be multiplied with a number? Can this matrix be multiplied with, say, 3? Is this mathematically possible? Yes, it is possible. To get the resulting matrix, each element of the matrix is multiplied with this number. Let's see what the resulting matrix looks like. The order of the resulting matrix will be the same as the order of the original matrix. The original matrix is of the order 2 by 2. So the resulting matrix will also be of the same order. To get the 1/1th element of the resulting matrix, we multiply the 1/1th element of the original matrix by 3. We get 2 multiplied by 3. To get the 1/2th element of the resulting matrix, we multiply the 1/2th element of the original matrix by 3. The 1/2th element is 4, so we write 4 multiplied by 3 here. Now I want you to pause the video and find the elements in these two positions. We will have -5 multiplied by 3 here and 1 multiplied by 3 here. Finding each element is easy now. 2 times 3 is 6, 4 times 3 is 12, -5 times 3 is -15, and 1 multiplied by 3 is 3. This is the answer. 3 times this matrix gives us this matrix. This always works when a matrix is multiplied by a constant. If a matrix is multiplied by a constant k, then each of its elements are multiplied by k to get the resulting matrix. This is an important concept and it's called the scalar multiplication. Multiplying a matrix with a number is called scalar multiplication. Can we find the negative of a given matrix? Let's say we have a 2 by 2 matrix Z. How do we find -Z? Pause the video and think about how you can find the negative of matrix Z. It's easy if you were able to apply the concept we used. -Z can be written as -1 multiplied by Z. We are multiplying a matrix with a constant, and this is a classic case of scalar multiplication. It's equal to -1 multiplied by this matrix Z. Let's shift the camera a bit and write down the resulting matrix underneath. Each element will be multiplied with -1. 1 will be multiplied with -1, then 3 will be multiplied with -1, and the last two elements will also be multiplied with -1. Now we just need to solve the expressions in each of the positions to get the final matrix. 1 multiplied with -1 is -1. 3 times -1 is -3. -5 multiplied with -1 is 5. And 2 times -1 is -2. If Z is this matrix, then negative of Z will be this matrix. How do we find the product of two matrices? Before we find out how two matrices are multiplied, we need to check for their compatibility. Only if they are compatible can they be multiplied. But wait, how do we check for compatibility? How do we know if two matrices can be multiplied? We will come to this, don't worry. But before that, let me ask you an easy question. Let's say we multiply two numbers, 2 and 3. We know that this also equals 3 times 2. 2 times 3 is equal to 3 times 2. This is the commutative property of multiplication. X multiplied by y will always be equal to y multiplied by x if x and y are numbers. But let's say there are two matrices A and B. Will A times B be always equal to B times A? The answer is not always. The order in which matrices are multiplied matters.
So if we find out that A times B is compatible, it does not imply that B times A is compatible. We need to check for compatibility of each of the products. Now let's move on to how we can check for compatibility. Okay, here's the rule. The product AB is compatible if, note that we are talking about A times B here and not B times A. A is the first matrix and B is the second. So the product AB is compatible if the number of columns in matrix A is equal to the number of rows in matrix B. Yes, AB is compatible only if the number of columns in A is equal to the number of rows in B. Let's see a couple of examples. Can this matrix be multiplied with this one? We don't have to multiply, we just need to check the compatibility. Look at the rule again. AB is compatible if the number of columns in A is equal to the number of rows in B. Here the first matrix has one column and the second matrix has one row. The number of columns in this matrix is equal to the number of rows in this matrix, and hence this multiplication is possible. Here's the second example. I encourage you to pause the video and check if this multiplication is possible or not. For this to be possible, the number of columns in the first matrix has to be equal to the number of rows in the second matrix. The first matrix has one column and the second matrix has two rows. As 1 is not equal to 2, this multiplication is not possible. Remember the simple rule. The number of columns in the first matrix should be equal to the number of rows in the second. Keeping that in mind, I want you to complete the next sentence. Assuming A and B are matrices, BA will be compatible if easy. This will be compatible if the number of columns in B is equal to the number of rows in A. It's the same rule. The number of columns in the first matrix should be equal to the number of rows in the second. Is this multiplication possible? 2 columns, 3 rows. No, it is not possible. What about this one? 3 columns and 3 rows? Possible. Now you know that it's easy to find out if two matrices are compatible for multiplication. The number of columns in the first matrix should be equal to the number of rows in the second. Only then will the multiplication be possible. A good way to find out if multiplication is possible is by writing the order of the matrices. Let's see how it helps us. Look at the first example. The first matrix has 3 rows and 1 column. Its order will be 3 by 1. The order of the second matrix will be 1 by 2. We see 4 numbers here. Multiplication is possible only if the second and the third numbers are equal. 1 is equal to 1. Multiplication possible. The order of this matrix is 2 by 1 and that of this one is also 2 by 1. Here 1 is not equal to 2. Multiplication not possible. In the third example, 2 is not equal to 3. Hence, multiplication not possible. And in the fourth, 3 is equal to 3. Hence, multiplication is possible. Hold on. Some of you might be thinking that writing the orders is a waste of time. And just finding the number of columns of the first matrix and rows of the second is enough. But there is a reason why writing the orders helps us. Yes, a very important reason which we will cover in the next session. Given two matrices A and B, how would you find AB and BA? Remember, matrices are not commutative. A multiplied by B may or may not equal B multiplied by A. Let's find AB first. Before we multiply, we need to check if they are compatible or not. Only if they are compatible, we multiply them, else we can't. How did we check for the compatibility? We found the order of each matrix and checked if the second and the third numbers are equal. If yes, then they were compatible, else they were not. What is the order of the first matrix? It has 2 rows and 2 columns, 2 by 2. And what's the order of the second one? 2 rows and 3 columns, 2 by 3. The second and the third numbers are equal. It means that the number of columns of the first matrix is equal to the number of rows in the second. This tells us that the two matrices are compatible for multiplication. But as discussed in the previous session, we could have just counted the number of columns of the first matrix and compared it to the number of rows of the second. Why is it a better idea to find the orders of the matrices? It's because this also gives us the order of the resulting product. The first number is 2 and the fourth number is 3. This will be the order of the resulting product, 2 by 3. Now you know why finding the order of each is better. They not only tell us the compatibility, but also the order of the resulting product. We zoom out and find the product AB. We know that its order is 2 by 3, 2 rows and 3 columns. We need to find the elements in these 6 positions. Let me tell you the best way to multiply these two matrices. We take the first row of the first matrix and multiply it with each of the columns of the second matrix, one by one. And then we do the same with the second row and so on. Solving it will give us a better idea. What will be the 1/1th element of the resulting product? It will be the first row of the first matrix multiplied by the first column of the second. It will be 1 times 1 plus 2 times 1. We multiply this number with this one and then this one with this. We have multiplied the first row with the first column. Now for the 1/2th element, we multiply the first row with the second column. We get 1 times 2 plus 2 times -1. This sum will be the 1/2th element. For the 1/3th element of the resulting product, we multiply the first row with the third column. We get 1 multiplied by 0 plus 2 multiplied by 3. We are done with the first row. We have multiplied it with each of the columns of the second matrix. There are 3 more elements we need to find. To find the element in the 2/1th position, we multiply the second row with the first column. We get -1 multiplied by 1 plus 0 multiplied by 1. Why don't you try finding the elements in these two positions? Pause the video and give it a shot. For the 2/2th element, we multiply the second row with the second column to get this. And for the 2/3th element, we multiply the second row with the third column to get this. It's quite easy to remember. 1/1th, first row, first column. 1/2th, first row, second column. 1/3th, first row, third column, and so on. This was the part we had to understand well. The rest is just plain simple calculation. Let's see what we get as the product. This will be 1 plus 2, 3. 2 plus -2 will be 0. 0 plus 6 will equal 6. -1 plus 0 will equal -1. -2 plus 0 will equal -2. And 0 plus 0 will equal 0. 2 rows, 3 columns. The order is 2 by 3, the first and the fourth number. Now let's try finding BA. Here B is the first matrix and A is the second one. Let's first see if they are compatible for multiplication. We find their orders. The order of B is 2 by 3 and the order of matrix A is 2 by 2. The second and the third numbers are not equal. Hence, these two matrices are not compatible for multiplication. We are given two matrices A and B and asked to find AB and BA. Unlike numbers, matrices are not commutative. The product of A with B may or may not equal the product of B with A. Let's find the product of A with B first. Is this multiplication possible? To know if this multiplication is possible, we find the orders of each of the matrices. Matrix A has 1 row and 2 columns. Its order will be 1 by 2. What about matrix B? 3 rows and 1 column, 3 by 1. The second and the third numbers are not equal, and hence this is not compatible. The product A multiplied by B does not exist. What about the product B times A? Pause the video and check if this product is possible or not. The order of matrix B is 3 by 1 and the order of matrix A is 1 by 2. So is this multiplication possible? Yes, because the second and the third numbers are equal. It's compatible for multiplication. With this, can we tell the order of the resulting product? Yes, it will be the first number by the fourth one, 3 by 2. We know that this product is possible and also know the order of the resulting matrix. And now that we know the order, we can move on to finding the product BA. This is matrix B and this one is A. The result will be 3 by 2 matrix. It will have 6 elements. As we had seen in the previous session, the 1/1th element here will be the product of the first row of the first matrix with the first column of the second. We get 1 multiplied by 2. For the 1/2th element, we multiply the first row of the first matrix with the second column of the second matrix. That will give us 1 multiplied by -3. After we are done multiplying the first row with each of the columns of the second matrix, we move on to the second row. So the 2/1th element here will be the product of the second row of the first matrix and the first column of the second matrix. 2 multiplied by 2. Pause the video and try to find the remaining 3 elements. This is what we get. 2 multiplied by -3, -1 multiplied by 2, and -1 multiplied by -3. We solve each product to get the 6 elements. 1 multiplied by 2 will give us 2, 1 multiplied by -3 will give us -3, and 2 multiplied by 2 is 4, and 2 multiplied by -3 is -6. This equals -2 and this product equals 3. That's the resulting matrix B multiplied by A. Given these two matrices, product AB is not possible and product BA is this matrix. What do we mean by the transpose of a matrix? To find the transpose of a matrix, we simply interchange its rows and columns. Yes, that gives us its transpose. Let's try out an example. This is matrix A. It has 2 rows and 2 columns. We need to find the transpose of this matrix. It is written as A with T as a superscript. What will this be equal to? We need to interchange the rows and columns. The first row becomes the first column. The first row is 1, 4. So the first column of the transpose will be 1, 4. The first row became the first column. And the second row of the matrix will become the second column of its transpose. The second row is -2, 3. So the second column of the transpose will be -2, 3. The rows of the matrix become the columns of its transpose. Or we can also say that the columns of the matrix become the rows of its transpose. Column 1 became row 1 and column 2 became row 2. But students often get confused at this point. So here's a good way to remember transpose. Assume that there are 4 cement bags, 2 on top of the other 2. The top 2 bags weigh 1 kilogram and 4 kilograms, and the bottom 2 weigh 2 kilograms and 3 kilograms. Let's say we put a box underneath it. If we push the first row, the 4 kilo bag will fall here. And on pushing the 1 kilo bag, it will land on the 4 kilo bag. Now let's push the bags in the second row towards the right. The 3 kilo bag will fall here and the 2 kilo bag will fall on top of it. This is the transpose of this matrix. The first row became the first column and the second row became the second column. So this was just one of the ways to understand transpose of a matrix. Okay, so here's matrix B. I want you to try finding the transpose of matrix B. So the first row will become the first column of the transpose. The first row is 1, 2, minus 1. 1, 2, minus 1 will be the first column of B transpose. The second row 3, 0, 4 will become the second column of the transpose. 3, 0, 4. That's B transpose. The rows and the columns were interchanged. If we are using a cement bag approach, this is how it will look. The first row falls to become the first column and the second row falls to become the second column. What is the order of matrix B? It has 2 rows and 3 columns. Its order will be 2 by 3. And B transpose has 3 rows and 2 columns. 3 by 2. The order is also reversed. 2 by 3 becomes 3 by 2. If the matrix is of order 3 by 4, then its transpose will be of the order 4 by 3. We will look at more examples over the next few sessions. In this video, we will learn something called a symmetric matrix. Yes, a symmetric matrix. When can we say that a matrix is symmetric? Matrix A is symmetric if A transpose is equal to A. Understand this well. The transpose of the matrix is equal to the matrix itself. This is the definition of a symmetric matrix. Look at this matrix A. Is it symmetric? What does the definition say? It will be symmetric only if its transpose is equal to itself. So what is A transpose here? We interchange the rows and columns. We get A transpose as 1, 2. The first row became the first column and the second row became the second column. Are they equal? When are two matrices equal? Do you remember equality of matrices? Two matrices are equal if they're of the same order and if their corresponding elements are equal. Here the orders are different. The order of A is 2 by 1 and that of A transpose is 1 by 2. They are not equal. Because A transpose is not equal to A, we say that A is not a symmetric matrix. That's how easy it is to find out if a matrix is symmetric or not. We find its transpose and check if it's equal to the original matrix. If not, then the matrix is not symmetric. Let's take another example. Here's matrix B. Is matrix B symmetric? Pause the video and find out if B is a symmetric matrix. To know if B is symmetric, we find B transpose first. The first row becomes the first column, 1, 4. The second row becomes the second column, -1, 2. And the third row becomes the third column, 0, 3. This is B transpose. Are B and B transpose equal? The order of B is 3 by 2 and that of B transpose is 2 by 3. As the orders are different, they are not equal, which means B is not a symmetric matrix. This should give us a hint. Tell me, can a rectangular matrix ever be symmetric? A rectangular matrix is a matrix in which the number of rows is not equal to the number of columns. Can it ever be symmetric? No chance, because the order of the transpose will definitely be different from that of the matrix. Only a square matrix can be symmetric. A square matrix is a matrix in which the number of rows is equal to the number of columns. Take matrix C for instance. 2 rows and 2 columns. This is a square matrix because its number of rows is equal to its number of columns. Is this a symmetric matrix? We find C transpose to know the answer. The first row becomes the first column, 1, 2, and the second row becomes the second column, 2, 4. Clearly, the two matrices are equal. Same order and the corresponding elements are equal. 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 2 and 2, 4 and 4. Matrix C is a symmetric matrix as its transpose is equal to itself. Does this mean that every square matrix will be symmetric? Here's matrix D. It's a square matrix because its number of rows is equal to its number of columns. Pause the video and find out if matrix D is a symmetric matrix. To know if D is symmetric, we need to find D transpose first. The first row will be the first column here. 1, 3, 1. The second row becomes the second column. Minus 1, 1, 4. And the third row will be the third column here. 2, 1, 0. Are these two matrices equal? The orders are equal, yes. But are the corresponding elements equal? Let's check. 1 is equal to 1. 3 is not equal to minus 1. For two matrices to be equal, all the corresponding elements must be equal. As 3 is not equal to minus 1, these two matrices are not equal. D is not a symmetric matrix and it is not equal to its transpose. So remember, every square matrix need not be symmetric, but for a matrix to be symmetric, it has to be a square. Like in the first two examples, the matrices were not square, so they will surely be non-symmetric. But if they are square, then they may or may not be symmetric. Here's one last example you need to solve. This is matrix E. Pause the video and find out if it's symmetric. The first thing we need to check is if the matrix is a square matrix. As it has equal number of rows and columns, we can say that it is a square matrix. So it may or may not be symmetric. To find out if it's symmetric, we need to find E transpose. This is what we get by interchanging the rows and columns of E. First row, first column, second row, second column, and third row, third column. Both matrices have the same orders and the corresponding elements are also equal. Matrix E is equal to E transpose. Matrix E is symmetric. With this, we can modify the original definition a bit. We say that a square matrix A is symmetric if A transpose is equal to A. This is a better way to understand it. If it's not square, we can directly say that it's not symmetric. And if it is square, we find A transpose and check if it's equal to matrix A. If it's equal, we say that the matrix is symmetric. In the previous session, we saw what a symmetric matrix is. A square matrix A is symmetric if A transpose is equal to A. In this session, we will look at what a skew-symmetric matrix is. The definition goes like this. A square matrix A is skew-symmetric if A transpose is equal to negative A. Let me repeat. A square matrix is skew-symmetric if its transpose is equal to its negative. A simple example would definitely help us understand better. Is this matrix A skew-symmetric? So we will find A transpose first and then negative of A. If they are equal, then we can say that matrix A is skew-symmetric. Let's find A transpose first. The first row becomes the first column, 1, 4, and the second row becomes the second column, 0, minus 1. This is A transpose. And what about negative A? To find the negative of a matrix, we negate each of its elements. 1 will be minus 1, 4 will become minus 4, negative of 0 is 0, and negative of minus 1 is 1. Are these two matrices equal? For two matrices to be equal, their orders have to be equal and their corresponding elements also have to be equal. The orders of A transpose and negative A are equal, but are the corresponding elements equal? 1 is not equal to minus 1. Even if one set of corresponding elements are not equal, we can say that the matrices are not equal. We don't need to check the rest. So A transpose and negative A are not equal. And hence, matrix A is not skew-symmetric. This tells us something interesting. I want you to focus on the diagonal elements of A. By diagonal, I mean the leading diagonal. Notice that the diagonal elements do not change for the transpose. 1 and minus 1, 1 and minus 1. And for negative A, just like the other elements, the elements in the diagonal are also negated. And what is the condition for a matrix to be skew-symmetrical? It says that A transpose should be equal to negative A, which means all corresponding elements must be equal. Can the diagonal elements of these two matrices ever be equal? Let's say the diagonal elements of a matrix were 2 and 4. For A transpose, the diagonal elements would be 2 and 4, and for negative A, the diagonal elements would be minus 2 and minus 4, not equal. So if the diagonal elements are non-zero, the matrix can never be skew-symmetric. Let's zoom out and write the condition. For the matrix to be skew-symmetric, the diagonal elements have to be 0. If the diagonal elements are non-zero, the matrix can never be skew-symmetric. Look at matrix B. Is it skew-symmetric? It is a square matrix and the leading diagonal elements are also 0. So it may be skew-symmetric. So let's find B transpose and negative B. Pause the video and try to find each. Okay, B transpose first. The first row will become the first column, 0, 2, and the second row will become the second column, minus 2, 0. And for minus B, we negate each element. Negative of 0 is 0, negative of 2 is minus 2, negative of minus 2 is 2, and negative of 0 is 0. Are these two matrices equal? Yes, the order as well as the corresponding elements are equal. So B is a skew-symmetric matrix. What about matrix C? Is it skew-symmetric? It is a square matrix and its leading diagonal elements are 0. So it may be a skew-symmetric matrix. We find C transpose first. The first row is written as the first column and the second row is written as the second column. This is C transpose. And what about negative C? Each element when negated gives us this. The negative of 0 is 0, negative of 1 is minus 1, negative of 4 is minus 4, and the negative of 0 is 0. Clearly, these two matrices are not equal. Matrix C is not skew-symmetric.